Yo, what up? In this video, I want to talk about taking high quality trades for the highest quality of setups and for the ones that are going to make us the most amount of money. Now, when everything begins to align in the market, that's when we need to take these trades without hesitation, being patient enough, and being disciplined enough to trade with as little as motions as possible. Now, I'm going to break down what I look for and what I don't want to see, along with some charts to visually understand the technicals a little better. But before we do begin, if you want a very good trading resource, I'm going to link my Instagram in the description below at InvestiTrade. I post daily trading recaps on here, along with very good trading tips and tricks that you're really not going to find anywhere else. Link to this is in the description below, and you're definitely missing out if you're not following it. But now let's get right into the video. The biggest component to this video is understanding the market's context. It's a component that not a lot of traders understand, and it's something they definitely lack. And in my opinion, it's one of the top three most important things that I look for before I enter any single trade. So when I say understand the market's context, I need to understand and be able to read volume. What's it doing? Do we have low volume, high volume? At what price is it happening at? Is there momentum? Because if there's momentum, there's participation. And if there's participation, there's going to be liquidity. And if there's liquidity, there's going to be some volatility, which us as stock traders, option traders, crypto traders, um, futures traders, we all need to see volatility if we're trading intraday because volatility will bring us large price swings. We also need to be able to understand the buyer's interest, the seller's interest, who's getting rewarded, who's winning the fight between the two participants, and we also need to know economic events that are definitely going to affect the market. Now, I added a video to the course about different market conditions, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago, and this whole section is on market context. And I use this example about saying the market's like seasons. If summer months, let's just say, you're not going to walk outside your house with a winter jacket on and start sweating like crazy. You're also not going to go outside in the winter with a bathing suit on and think you're going to take the sun. So the market is just like the seasons. It presents different opportunities every day, every minute, every month, every year. The conditions are completely different. What we saw, let's just say 2 years ago, is completely different conditions that we're seeing right now. What we saw with COVID back in February, March of last year is completely different from what we're seeing right now. It changes like the tides, and you have to recognize the changes. I always say this, that the market is the storyteller, and our job as traders is to comprehend the story that it's telling us. Can we figure out the story? It's not going to say, hey, buy this here, sell this here. It's going to give us these market context clues, and our job as a trader is to put them together like a puzzle and figure out the story, then make a valid, rational decision and put a trade on. Now, I also need to see all my signals, everything that I mentioned up here, what I like to see based on my edge and how I trade. I need to see them all align, and they're only going to align when the market has structure, when something is definitive with me being able to read it properly. That's when I get the best setups. Now, when everything doesn't align, I'm going to show you in 2 seconds on the chart here, but when all the signals don't align, that's when I sit on my hands. I'm extremely patient, I'm defensive, I'm conservative, and I really wait to strike for the best opportunities that I know will make me the most amount of money. Now, if I get mixed signals, I can't really read the market too well. It's no good, and I'd rather sit on the sidelines and wait for a good setup and be correct on my analysis but not take the trade rather than getting mixed signals, forcing a setup, and taking a loss which was completely avoidable in the first place. Now, what's very important is to look at the overall market, the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow if you're trading market leading stocks, because when those markets align with the equities markets or context, for example, if you're trading Tesla, you want to see what the Nasdaq's doing, or you're trading Apple, you want to see what ES and NQ are doing. When they both align and I could read the market and I could read the equity and we have some solid factual pieces of information based on context, that's when I'm going to get my quality setup, and that's when I'm going to make the most amount of money. I review my journal like it's a Bible every single night, every single weekend. I review it, And what it boils down to is the trades I make the most amount of money on is when I get the alignment between all factors and when ES or NQ or the Dow, depending on the stock I'm trading, aligns with that equity. And you must be able to react and adapt to the market's current story. It's constantly throwing different things at us. We have to take what it's throwing at us and react and adapt to it. You also need to know what to do versus what not to do. A lot of people think they know what to do, and when they think that way, it's actually something that they should not be doing. So trade differently some days versus others. Not every day is the same. Always remember that. I go into this the following day with a clean mind, fresh slate, and I just react to what the market is currently telling me. Now, here is an example of what not to do, because you could just then reverse this and you could figure out what is proper to look for when looking to trade. However, just to get context, let's go over the pre-market plan. I post these every single day in the Discord. This was on Monday. We were watching NQ and QQQ. We were bouncing overnight at the 1503 demand zone. Weren't really creating demand on the way up, besides this micro zone right here at 15084. We were also running into the supply zone at the pink box, and we had a previous all-time high at 15134 that was acting as resistance. I said this needed more development to come up with a structured plan, but those are the levels that I'm watching, not worrying as we're holding above 15,000. The biggest thing here is I need more development to come up with a structured plan. Like I said earlier, we need structure and we need to be able to read the context in order to come up with a solid trading thesis. So the market opened up. Let's go to a 5-minute chart. We acted as resistance at this. We found sellers at the resistance at 15134. We sold off. So we obviously had sellers priced into the market, especially confluent with the supply zone. We sold off into this zone over here, then bounced back at the resistance, then back down. So this was also lacking volume and volatility. We were moving in a very tight range, and you really, for me at least, could not read what was going on properly. I had mixed feelings. I think at this point, the S&P was rallying, or some equities were rallying, but the market was leading or lagging behind. So it was very confusing to me. It was very mixed signals, which is not a bad thing at all. People think they need to put a trade on every single day. For me, if I can't read the context of the market, I'm not putting a trade on. Now, this also bled into other equities. If I pull up my 6 charts here, these are all all charts from Monday's action. Besides Boeing, we have major market names such as Apple, which looked identical to the NASDAQ. We also had Tesla, which made a move in the first 45 minutes and then died out. Amazon, same thing. Even though we have demand, the market really wasn't confirming. I was confused. At any point, the market could have, sold off from supply and continue going down, and that would have affected other equities. We also had Facebook, which failed to stay above a key level. Microsoft, the same thing. And Boeing was the only outlier. This follows the Dow. This bounced off the 228 demand zone and created new demand on the way up, but very clean rally on that name. Also, here's the S&P 500's pre-market plan. Just like NASDAQ, I said we need more structure on this to come up with a solid plan. Looks like we need more information from the market today on equities as well. So before the market even opened up, I realized these conditions, and that's somewhat of a red flag for when the market does open up. If I can't get that missing piece or get more information, then I know the quality of setups that day are going to be much lower until I could properly get everything to align and read the context. The S&P moved completely sideways. We got a bunch of doji candles. Volume was extremely, extremely low. And in my opinion, this is a type of day that's just going to deplete more mental capital and more physical capital in your account than actually benefit you and actually make you money. Now, sometimes, just like Boeing, there are outliers, which is acceptable to trade on certain days like this. I would stick to scalping versus trend trading, because on days where the market is like this, you are not going to get clean trend moves with crazy rallies or crazy sell-off days. All these things I've been seeing more recently than I have been in the past. So that's the adaptive and reactive feel to the market that you need to do. But this is something you want to see. So we got some nice volume on these two names. This is the same day, AMD and Microsoft. We sell off into this demand zone at 104.91. On Microsoft, we sell into the 284 demand zone. We got some nice volume, some nice lower wicks, and we had a very clean bounce for about 6 or so points off this demand zone on AMD, and we got about a 3-point rally off this one on Microsoft. Now, if we were to look at the market as well, this at the same time had some nice volatility, some nice volume, had some nice price movements. We had buyers factored in at this demand zone. We were a very bullish chart, breaking past the highs. Overnight, we had some nice volume, holding VWAP. Sold off, it attracted a bunch of bears into the market, not realizing we're at demand, some nice lower wicks. And then this thing also provided a nice opportunity to get long as well. Now, all this was happening at the same time with AMD, Microsoft bouncing, clear direction, clear context. You could read the market, some nice liquidity, participants being active in the market. This is when I know to size up. This is when I know to hit my setups hard. And this is when I know I'm going to have the best setups. Compared to what I showed you earlier in the charts, where it was very flat, the market was balanced. It wasn't much of an imbalance. It was more of a balanced market. And that's when your emotions are going to go through the roof. You're going to start making irrational decisions. And I guarantee you're going to be taking big losses. Now, at the day I'm recording this video, on Thursday, August 12th, this whole past week, we've been seeing very similar action to stuff that we want to avoid. I am very selective on my setups. I'm conservative, and I want to wait for the highest quality ones. I haven't seen too many this week, so I'm reacting to that. I'm adapting to the conditions, and I'm sitting on my hands waiting for the next opportunity. I don't want to force nothing and take a big loss, which was avoidable. So that's kind of where my mindset has been at. This could change tomorrow. This could change the next day. It could change even today. So you just don't know. But the key is reacting and understanding to these conditions and then trading accordingly. So I think I'm going to leave you all off on that note. If you enjoyed this video, you learned something, hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel, and if you truly want to learn more, check out the links in the description below. I offer a very in-depth and educational course that will come with access to the Discord at no extra cost. But besides that, I'm going to end it. Peace out.